Good morning. Walk with me for a few minutes. So, question for you. If somehow you were able to measure all of your, not only time, but like emotional energy, what would you say you focus more on? Success or happiness? Think about that one and be real with yourself. You see, I think one of the maybe interesting or positive consequences of this whole COVID crisis that we're in right now is it's really giving us a forced pause. It's really allowing us time to reevaluate the things that we value most. I don't know about you, but there's definitely some things that, I was doing every single day that I'm not now and I don't miss. And there's some things maybe that I totally took for granted that I'm not doing right now and I totally miss. How many of you guys are going through kind of a reevaluation of what we value? And I want to urge all of us this morning maybe to throw that question into our own internal conversation during this forced pause of what do we really value most? Success or happiness, if you had to choose between the two? Because I think at the time we're in right now, it's a great opportunity maybe to make the shift. For those of you guys out there, say hello. Drop me a hi, a good morning. How you doing? Little hand wave. I love that you're joining me for my morning walks. Hope it gives you a good way to start your day, some things to think about, feel good, ponder, improve. And I appreciate all of you that join me for my walks in the morning. The only way I know you're out there is if you drop a comment. So say hello. I'd love to say hello back. And as we walk this morning, let's kind of dive into that, unpack that topic. By the way, what'd you answer? These aren't rhetorical. These are literal. Drop a comment below if you were being honest with yourself of your real time and your mental energy. Not what you want it to be, not what you think I want the answer to be, not what you think the answer should be, but the reality of where your time's going. If you could tally it all up, what are you currently spending most of your life on? Focus more on success or more on happiness? Let's dive deeper here. So, success. Man, we've messed up that definition, haven't we? I don't know where it started, how it started, why it started, and why it hasn't changed, but, if we were all to define the world's view of success, and let's be honest, because it is the world's view, it's the definition most of us have adopted, maybe unconsciously, automatically. But if most people were to define success, what comes to mind? Some of the quick answers usually have to do with money, right? How many people do we know that really define success based on their bank balance, right? It's like the scoreboard. How many commas? What's the net worth? And success is defined by some monetary measure. I think that's probably the most common. I think maybe the next in line would be things that we have, right? So we define success all the time, and we judge people all the time by things. What watch is on their wrist, what car is in the driveway, how many square feet are in the house, what clothes are they wearing, what shoes do they have on, what purses are around their shoulder. Don't lie, we're all guilty of it. So maybe material things. Maybe we define success by a standard we compare against others. A lot of people's success is like a constantly moving metric. We're constantly comparing where we are to people around us. I think today's Instagram world has made this even worse because all day long we're seeing obviously people's best version of themselves. The social media highlight reel, the tip of the iceberg, not the flaws, imperfections, mistakes, failures, insecurities, doubts, mess ups that really are a part of all of us. And so constantly we have a moving target trying to compare. I love the belief that comparison is the thief of happiness. So those are all things, guys, that a lot of times we look at success. And sometimes it's not even maybe things or money. Sometimes, success to us is some idealistic picture of perfection, right? If it's not just monetary that drives you, maybe success to you is, trying to be the perfect parent, the perfect mom, the perfect spouse, the perfect, coworker, the perfect partner. And our definition of success is chasing, again, something that doesn't really exist, because at least I've never met anybody that is really, truly perfect. I don't think that standard is a reality. So I'm asking all of you guys, and again, I'm not asking you to give me the answer you think I want. I'm asking you to ask yourself and give me the answer that you're really living by. Like, what is your definition of success, and how much time are you really putting into chasing that standard? So many of us get stuck in the when-then conversation. When I get the promotion, then I'll be happy. When I get that watch, then I'll be successful. When I make X amount, then I'll feel this way. When I have X amount in the bank, then, right, I'll be here. When then? How many of you guys are guilty of playing the when game in our own mind? When I do this, then everything will be good. I think so many of us are stuck in the when-then conversation. But if we were to be honest with ourselves, we'd realize that, man, the things we were telling ourselves when-then a decade ago happened. And the only thing we got after that, maybe a moment of fulfillment, but instantly came another when. And then when we got that, maybe a moment of fulfillment, but instantly came another then. And it's then, until there's no more time for any more thens. And we miss the point. So I think we need to shift this focus on success. Reality, not just conceptually, but like where we put our emotional energy, where we put our time, where we put our focus. And shouldn't the real focus ultimately be happiness? And I want you to think about that. At the end of the day, isn't happy the real goal? Isn't the reason we're trying to chase the dollar amount, the things to have, the facade of perfection is so we can look good in the eyes of others, so we can feel good about ourselves, so at the end of the day, we can be what? At the end of the day, it's about being happy. It's about being fulfilled. Right? It's about being at peace. We're just playing this game that we've been taught that all this stuff has to come before that end. Who says that success has to come before happiness? Who says that success, as we define it, even has to be the focus? Why don't we shift the script and say, let's focus on happiness? You guys, I've been on both sides of all of that. I've had the commas in the bank account. I've had the years where, I think my biggest year, I earned over $20 million in a year. I've also had years where I went long seasons, year after year after year after year after year, not making a single dollar. And I've had those peaks and valleys a couple times. So I've kind of been at the top, had the ability to buy the things. And guys, I can be honest and say that none of that made me even happier. The when-then game is a lie. Matter of fact, I'd actually say, some of you guys can relate, that sometimes in the middle of the valley, in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the challenge, in the middle of the obstacle, like that's where you feel most alive. That's where you get humbled and reestablish what's important, kind of like a season we're in right now. And I'd be honest to say that there's times where I'm a lot happier than the times where I had all the things that define success. How many of you guys can relate where you've maybe been on both sides of the coin, maybe not too as an extreme, but you understand that success is not linked to happiness. And actually, if you dive into psychology, there's a bunch of research that argues the contrary, that happiness is actually correlated to success. Meaning those that focus on being happy have more energy, right? Have a higher frequency, right? Are more likely to put in the time and effort and energy it takes to become successful. We have the story backwards. So guys, maybe now's the time to focus on happiness first, which begs the question, what's that definition? And if we've messed up this whole definition of success as a society, let's not mess up our chance to redefine not only what that means, but maybe what happiness means to us. Let me ask you guys a question. Participation, comment below, all of you. I want to hear some comments. I want to read them. How would you define happiness? Drop a comment. First thing that comes to mind. No hesitation. No wrong answer. Drop it below. Number one, because I want you to think about it and answer the question. Number two, I want you to add some value to everybody who watches this and reads the comment thread. You're an equal part of this conversation this morning. Walk with me here. So guys, I think the bottom line on happiness, and I'm not going to give you my definition, because I think we each have to carve out our own definition of what makes us happy, because the reality is that different things make each of us happy. I'm just here to say maybe happiness needs to be the focus, and now's the time to reevaluate. So you might be saying, okay, Blake, I get it. It's conceptually, what do I do? Well, guys, I'm all about awareness. That's what these conversations are mainly about, is raising a level of awareness, raising a level of consciousness. Before you take action or apply practical steps, we gotta be aware of why, and vice versa. If I give you practical steps without the why, you're not gonna follow them. But let me give you something really simple and practical to move in this direction. You guys remember, I don't even remember what they're called. Mind maps, I think is what they're called. Maybe back in school, we used to do mind maps, where you draw a circle and kind of a key theme, and then you draw little lines and little circles off that theme that are related or connected. It's kind of a way to free flow. It's actually a super powerful, easy exercise. You don't have to worry about bullets or lines or organization. You just draw clusters of things that are connected. I love it because it allows your mind to go in the direction it naturally goes. You don't have to force it to fit in a box, just flow. What comes to your mind goes to your pen and write. But I urge you guys to do a mind map with this question. What makes me happy? Put it in the middle, big circle. What makes me happy? And just start drawing the answers that come to mind. It's natural, you know it. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to think about it. But maybe you've never done the exercise to take it from your head and get it to the paper in front of you. So you might say things that make me happy are, family, or you might say, nature, or you might say, music, and you go deeper. Well, what kind of music, right? It might be a certain type or a certain artist or a certain memory of a concert you went to. You guys get the gist. So I challenge you to take some time during this quarantine and do your happiness map for yourself. I also think it's worth asking yourself the opposite question. Different sheet of paper. What makes me unhappy? Because I think one of the key things to happiness is to be aware of the things that make us unhappy, so we can start to reduce or minimize or offset, outsource, eliminate a lot of those from our life, so we can put more energy into things that make us happy. You guys take some time. Is it worth, 30 minutes? Heaven forbid, an hour that maybe you spend during this quarantine time to get to the root of what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy? Probably a question that you've never asked yourself, at least not recently. We spend all day long making lists and doing work for other purposes. Why not get to the core? So that's my challenge for all of you guys. Hey, if you take me up on it, share it with me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. That's what I check the most. Just my name, @Blake Mallen. Would love to check out what you have if you're willing to share, and applaud you for not only listening, receiving, but acting upon the conversations. And it adds a little accountability to all of you guys, not just to, listen, but to apply. So shoot me a DM, Instagram @Blake Mallen. And that's my challenge for you guys. So bottom line, we have a forced pause. There's an opportunity in this to reevaluate what we value, what's important to us. I think one of the cores we've messed up in the recent times is a false definition of success that many of us are either consciously or subconsciously chasing every single day. Sometimes we're aware and sometimes we're not. We need to wake up. And I think we need to shift the script to focus more on what happiness means. Not only because happiness can actually lead to success, but happiness also allows us, here's the kicker, to enjoy the process and be happy along the way. And we start by some mind maps, and you spending the time you're going to spend to ask yourself the question, what makes me happy? What makes me unhappy? And that's my challenge for all of you guys. Hey guys, what's one thing you got from this? Drop a comment below. The feedback helps. If there's any follow-up questions, I'll be sure to reply. Drop them below. If there's anybody that you just want to be happy right now, right, and you want to share this with, tag them in the comments. And the greatest gift you can give if you also got value from this is to press the share button. That tells me it was valuable enough for you to share with all the people you care about. Other than that, guys, I look for the DMs on those of you guys that apply. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Until next time, you walk with me. Have a great day, everybody.